Now, because I've been talking about rehabilitating a white-footed mouse named Schaefer, I want to go over containers. Because if you are doing this in an emergency situation, you're going to be looking for some kind of a container to put it in. You can use a box. You could probably use even like a fishing tackle box if it had some kind of air in it or something, but try not to be too trusting of any container. The easiest thing to keep a mouse in is a jelly jar with holes in the lid. You can use a peanut butter jar, but most of them come with plastic lids, and it's harder to get viable air holes in it. The plastic tends to crack. So, if you had to keep a mouse in a place for an emergency, you can use one of these. I could put Schaefer in here and leave him in there and carry this around with me everywhere, and he would probably be fine. I'm trying to give him more of an environment. So then if you go to Chewy.com, and I have nothing but good things to say about Chewy.com, they don't even say it on their website, but I've had medications for the dog, things for the dog, and now mouse items that I've needed. And they don't, it's not mentioned on the website. I've been getting everything overnight. It's amazing. They're amazing. This is Living World Small Animal Carrier. Living World is by Hagen. And this is small. There's a next one up that's called medium that is for rabbits. This is supposed to be for hamsters, rats, mice. Now, I've looked at it before. It was $13. I didn't buy it before because I have several things, but I got it this time because I wanted to see, first of all, the size of these holes. Now, Schaefer, at the age that he's at right now, could probably get stuck in here. His head is bigger than his body in a lot of ways. They can flatten themselves out. Adult mice can flatten themselves to the size of a quarter. So this is kind of borderline. He would get stuck. And as you've seen, he's the type that likes to, he's going to be trouble. He wants to go sit in his water dish. I mean, how much sense does that make? But the main problem I have with this is their air hole on the top in the center right there. An adult mouse could almost get through that. It's just smaller than a quarter. Schaefer could walk right through that. So you have to be careful. It's a wonderful little container. It would be perfect for taking a bird to the vet. It would be perfect for a rat, probably. I haven't had a rat. Not yet. But any of the birds I raised, it would be good for. It might even be good for a mouse like Schaefer when he gets bigger. But the first thing I thought of is duct tape right over that hole. Because these other holes are just a little bit smaller. But again, the shape of his head, I don't know why they made it this shape. That has a mouse coming right through that. So this is not probably going to be used for him on anything more than if I have to take him to the vet and I'd be... There was someone at the door. I was saying I probably would not use this purple container for a mouse unless it was a full-grown mouse. And if I had to take him to the vet or something, I would put the whole thing in a bag, but I would still expect that he would get out of it. So that's one, and it's a little disappointing because it's perfect, except for the hole sizes. And they specifically say it's for mice, and you would think they would do the research, but I just don't agree with them. This is the safest wire size to use for mice. Window screening is the safest. They can't get out. The one thing mice will do is get out of anything you put them in. So that's the Living World Hagen at $13, and the jar. This is a 10-gallon tank. You can get these kind of lids at probably farm supply stores would have them, because people that raise ducks and chickens and stuff would need them. These two are, the one on the bottom is the small animal container, and that's actually where Schaefer is right now. Now, the adult mice had chewed through the top of that. And this, again, is a temporary house. I had to reinforce the inside top of that with wire after they chewed it. Now, when they ruined that one, to get another one, I got this one. But they can chew right through this. Adult mice can chew right through this. This is a reptile container. Also at Chewy for about $10. Now, this I could be keeping a baby mouse in. As soon as a baby mouse starts to jump, they're going to jump. That's when they're ready to leave the nest. They're going to jump up. They can jump that high. They're going to hang upside down on this, and out of frustration, they're going to start to chew. And they have to chew like 4 of these, and they'd be gone. So, this is the safest, and I have looked for months. I used to breed birds. I had rabbits and rabbit cages, and I've had a lot of different animals, and even the bird wire, which is half-inch by half-inch grid, is hard to find now. Chicken wire is not really smooth enough to be safe for anything but chickens. It's difficult to find a container. This, or the blue one that I have him in, and like I said, this is a reptile, like I guess a snake or a lizard thing. I'll put the links to those two if I find them. But I can keep him in there until he starts to jump. Now, you see it's cloudy on the bottom half. That's from pine sol. Bleach doesn't do that, but I filled that with pine sol and it clouded the plastic. So you want to keep that in mind. Bleach, you should use at the most, 10% bleach to 90% water to clean things out. I actually have germicidal bleach now that I had to buy because of COVID, and it disintegrates things. So we're talking, when I say you can dilute bleach, I mean dilute bleach with 1 part bleach to 9 parts water to get 10 parts. Don't use germicidal bleach. Use just regular Clorox off the shelf. A 10-gallon tank with a lid like this. You can't use an old vintage Habitrail lid because of the way it sits on the frame. There are spaces they can get out. The new Habitrails are like the Living World purple container there. The spaces are all wrong. They're more for hamsters. It's really tough to be a mouse these days. Now, the other thing while I'm doing this, KT Forta Diet Pro Health Mouse Food, $5 for 3 pounds. For an average mouse, you feed 1 teaspoon a day, which I have to open this and grind one up. I think it's probably 1 pellet. These are pellets, and it's for mice, rats, and hamsters. I don't know why they don't have gerbils on there, because I think it would be for gerbils too. But it says for all mice, rats, and hamsters. Now, it's a pellet, so they'd have to chew it like a rabbit. They need blocks of wood as they get older to chew to keep their teeth down, keep their teeth worn down like a rabbit. Tunnels and play toys, water dishes, and I think, now I can take these pellets and I can soak them. And this is probably going to be what I give him for his real first solid food, because it's got everything in it. It's got all the vitamins. You don't have to worry about making the perfect food. So I'm going to soak a couple of those and put them in the cage, and I think as soon as his eyes open, he's going to be looking for solid food. So those are just a few things. Just if you're looking for mouse containers, you really have to check. See, this spacing is perfect on the reptile one, but it's plastic. And when they chewed through it, they actually broke, I think they broke the corner. And then they all ran out, like a movie. That was when they were doing construction on the house, and they had some kind of a saw, like a wallboard saw, scared the mice, and they all freaked out and chewed out. So those are a few things. You have to be very picky when you pick out things for mice, and especially baby mice.